All right, today what we're going to talk about is the order of operations. In what order do you need to operate out through a problem? You cannot just start on the far left side and work through a math problem all the way to the right like you would reading a book. Sometimes there's parts that you need to do in the middle first prior to doing anything else. So how do we know what we need to do first? It's all about the order of operations. That is a foundational skill of algebra, and we have some acronyms that we want to use to remember it. So first I'm going to start out by Pemdas. Pemdas is what we use here, and it stands for parentheses, then do your exponents, then do multiplication and division, and then after that do your addition and subtraction. Okay, so that is the way we know what order in which we need to do a problem. Parentheses, anything inside parentheses has to be done first. Exponents need to be completed prior to doing any addition, subtraction, multiplication, or division. Okay, you're going to want to do your multiplication and division from left to right, whichever one pops up first. Multiplication and division, and then addition and subtraction should be the last operation you do when working out and evaluating a problem. Okay, now if you're in the UK, it sounds like you use Bodmas. Fancy a cup of tea, huh? So, terrible accent, but they use brackets, is what they call them. O stands for, I believe that stands for orders. So your exponents, division, multiplication, addition, subtraction. One thing you might notice about the way that they talk about it there is they do division first and multiplication first. The reason that is it does not matter which one you do. Division and multiplication, you want to go furthest left and then move to the right. Okay, you don't necessarily do your multiplication before you do your division. These right here, think of as one. So the furthest one to the left, that one needs to be done first. Same with addition and subtraction. Okay, now, and if you're from Canada, sounds like Canada says Bedmas. It's Canadians' favorite letter. A, right? So one A in there, that's all they got. They do brackets as well. Exponents just like us, division, multiplication, addition, subtraction. Remember, division and multiplication just needs to be done furthest left goes first, moving to the right. So you always complete your division and your multiplication before you do any addition or subtraction. Okay? Remember, same rules apply to addition and subtraction as well. So these are your three acronyms, depending on where you're from, that you're probably familiar with or are common knowledge to you. Okay? PEMDAS. Please excuse my dear Aunt Sally. That is typically how we remember it or how we teach kids to remember it, and that is the order in which you're going to want to go in. So I'm going to leave this up right here so we just have it written down, and then I'm going to show you a couple of problems where this comes into play. I'll also show you an example of a mistake that commonly would be seen. So the first problem I want to go through is just, if I were to say 6 plus 4 divided by 2, and let's add 3 at the end. Okay? Now, if you don't know your order of operations, obviously what you're probably going to do is you're going to start from the left side and move your way down to the right, just like you would read a book. You'd say 6 plus 4, you'd get a 10. You'd take 10 and you would divide it by 2 and get 5. Then you would take 5 and you'd add 3 and you'd get a grand total of 8. 8 is not the correct answer for this problem because our law, our order of operations tells us we have to do multiplication and division before we do any addition or subtraction. So the first part of this problem that you actually want to solve or evaluate for is 4 divided by 2, which is going to give me 2. Now I'm just going to bring all the other information down, and I'm going to work this out. Remember, if we would have gone left to right, we ended up getting 8. Notice that now I'm taking 6 plus 2, 8, plus 3 more. My grand total for this solution needs to be 11. Very different answer than 8. So showed you an example of what you may anticipate seeing as a teacher or what you as students might want to do. Just move left to right. Not the correct way to go about this problem. Follow the order of operations. Let's do one more problem just to make sure you see it. Obviously, this one didn't have any parentheses or exponents in it, so I want to throw some of those at you. Okay, so this next problem, let's throw in both parentheses and exponents. If I said 80 minus 4 minus 1 to the power of 3. Okay, if I asked you to evaluate this right here, I would see many students saying 80 minus the value of 4 minus 1. So we want to know what the value of 4 minus 1 is. That's what we want to take 80 away from. But we also have to power it to 3. So the first part of this entire problem is just simplifying 4 minus 1, getting that down to the value of 3. Because what we're going to take away is 3, that value, to the third power. Remember, we want to do our exponents before we did any subtraction. So right now, this just stays the same, 80 minus. This is what's changing over here on the right side. So we're going to change that to a 3, and it's to the power of 3. Now remember, we want to go parentheses, done. Now we go to exponents. Boom, right there. 3 to the power of 3. 3 times 3 times 3. 3 times 3 is 9. 9 times 3 is 27. So we're going to say 27. 80 minus, now, because we're last steps, we do addition and subtraction. Now we're ready to simplify our subtraction here. 80 minus 27, okay, you're going to take that away, and what you're going to end up with is 53. All right, that is how you would do a problem, an order of operation problem. Just make sure you're always following in this order, and you will be fine. Good luck on your upcoming test.